It's hard to deny that Batman is one of the biggest pop culture icons in the fictional world to date. Birthed during the Great Depression, he's a symbol of hard work overcoming darkness, of perseverance, and holding true to your morals, all while never being afraid to explore the darker sides of the human psyche. So it makes sense why people would want the chance to step into his shoes and fight crime in the diverse and colorful DC universe, and why video games featuring the Cape Crusader have outperformed most other superhero games to date. Which is why today we're counting down the top 10 best Batman games of all time, from contemporary popular Batman hits to the classics of NES fame. Let's jump in. In at number 10, Arkham Origins. The third game in the Arkham franchise and the first narratively, Arkham Origins was a highly anticipated game, but turned out to be the weakest of the series. It follows a young Bruce Wayne during his early days as Batman, 5 years prior to the events of Asylum, as 8 of the world's greatest assassins arrive in Gotham on Christmas Eve. He has to take care of the situation while other villains like the Joker join in on the chaos, all while the GCPD hunt bats down. The game received generally favorable reviews, but it lacked a cohesive narrative, and the side plots didn't really provide players much gratification. And at number 9, The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Published by Konami and Sega, The Adventures of Batman and Robin game was based on the popular series, Batman the Animated Series, and was released on multiple platforms, including Super NES, Genesis, Sega CD, and Game Gear in 1994. An action-adventure platformer, the boss of each stage was a member of one of Batman's rogue gallery: the Joker, Poison Ivy, Penguin, Catwoman, Two-Face, Scarecrow, Riddler, Clayface, and even Man-Bat. It was praised for its brain-teasing challenges in which the player would have to equip gadgets from the Batcave in order to progress in certain levels, and for its strong graphics and sound effects at the time. Some critics thought Robin, who was present as a sidekick, should have had more of a prominent role though. And at number 8, Batman the Video Game. This 1989 platform game was loosely based on the 1989 film of the same name. Available for the NES, the Genesis, and the Game Boy, all of the versions were different despite having the same name. The NES version gave Batman the ability to wall jump, which was a little uncommon for NES games at the time. The Game Boy version notably featured Batman attacking with a gun, and was the least similar to the film's plot, and the Genesis version followed the plot the most accurately. Critics have called it one of the best superhero games for the NES too, not too shabby. And at 7, Batman Returns. Another game based on a Batman film, and also released on multiple consoles, the 1993 Batman Returns video game was predominantly known for its NES and Super NES releases, published by Konami. The game received rave reviews, despite a criticism about a lack of originality. The game's levels for the most part were classic side-scrolling beat-em-up levels, featuring a boss character at the end for Batman to fight, and also had a Batmobile level where you chase bikers in an armored van, and you fire a machine gun. Up next, number 6, the LEGO Batman video game. The LEGO Batman video game is based on the LEGO franchise of the character, and featured the licensed DC property in a world constructed entirely of LEGO. It also features an original story, which is kinda neat. Critics praised the game for its replay value, its fun nature, with the combat style based on the 1960s Batman television series, all while including clever puzzles for players. Other critics disliked the way certain characters were portrayed, like Robin and Clayface, who were changed into, I quote, village idiots, and that the other supporting cast could have been more developed narratively. Regardless, the game received several sequels, including LEGO Batman 2 DC Superheroes, which incorporated more of the DC characters that fight along Bruce in the Justice League. And at 5, Injustice: Gods Among Us. Injustice is one of the more sophisticated fighting genre games to date. In the game, in an alternate universe, the Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane and his unborn child, which pushes him over the edge. Supes murders the Joker and becomes a totalitarian leader over the entirety of Earth. Of course, Batman is not down for that and starts a revolution of his own, which ultimately incorporates the heroes from Earth Prime getting involved in the battle. Riffing off of developer NetherRealm Studios' previous title Mortal Kombat, much of the controls and game mechanics garnered it a positive review from critics, with IGN calling it both a very good brawler and a big ol' sloppy love letter to fans. And at number 4, Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight was a decent game. It carried over a lot of the game mechanics that its predecessors introduced in previous Arkham games, and incorporated the use of the Batmobile, a feature that many fans had been dying to play with. The game also didn't feature the writing talent of Paul Dini, rather it used its own writers in collaboration with Jeff Johns, which made for a weaker story. But its graphics, gameplay variety, open world detail, and voice acting were just as exceptional as previous games, and it managed to function without the presence of the Joker. Up next at 3, Batman the Telltale series. This Telltale game plays with the mythology of Batman ever so slightly, never derailing too much but giving us a variation on the general Batman story we're all familiar with. With the release of the first chapter in 2016, the game was a critical hit, despite not being tied to any previous adaptation of the Batman universe. A point-and-click graphic adventure, players got to play as both Batman and Bruce Wayne, at times offering the player the option to play as the Cape Crusader or his alter ego in various situations, and And similar to other Telltale games, the series features a branching narrative in which choices you make affect the story and have causes on later events that occur. In our number 2 spot is Batman Arkham Asylum. The release of Arkham Asylum was a big deal. It was the first really well-developed contemporary video game for The Dark Knight, and it did not disappoint. Released in 2009, developed by Rocksteady, it was written by veteran Batman writer and DC legend Paul Dini, and the third-person perspective game takes place in Arkham Asylum as Batman has been trapped inside with all of his foes after the Joker instigates a heinous plot that involves detonating bombs in Gotham if Bats doesn't play his game. Mark Hamill reprised his role as the Joker for the game, and several reviewers called it the greatest comic book game of all time upon its release, to the point where the game even broke the Guinness World Record for most critically acclaimed superhero game ever. And finally, in at number 1, Batman Arkham City. Rocksteady revolutionized the superhero genre in video games with Batman Arkham City. While Asylum proved to be a phenomenal game, the storytelling co-penned by Paul Dini, the complex side missions, the more challenging Riddler puzzles, and the inclusion of Catwoman as a playable character really amped up the experience of playing The Dark Knight in this sequel, for Batman fans and newbies alike. The game mechanics were smooth, Bruce's tech was cool, all of the bosses felt organically on par with Batman canon, no steroid Joker this time around, and the ending? Well, it left many players with chills, frozen with anticipation as to what would happen next. While its follow-up game wasn't nearly as impressive, Arkham City definitely left its mark, scoring almost a perfect 100 with most major reviewers, being one of the fastest-selling video games in history, with critics calling it a standout accomplishment. Alright, there we have it. Are there any great Batman games out there that we should have included on this list? Let us know in those comments below. If you dug this video, please show us some love by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. And if you want more great gaming vids, feel free to head on over to our channel and check out our recent uploads playlist. If you're feeling like more Batman though, why not head on over to our sister channel, Top 10 Nerd, and check out our superheroes playlist. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I've been Kelly Pally and this has been Top 10 Gaming. Catch you all in the next one.